What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines. Let's play Season 9, Episode number 3, The Town of Swampscott. It's better than it sounds. And where did we leave off? It's been a while. World's a little crazy right now, as is my upload schedule. I try and do Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. It doesn't always work out. So, unfortunately, man, my last upload was almost a week ago. Thursday, April 2nd. And it is now Wednesday the 8th. So sorry for the delay. Let's jump right into it. Let's see if we can remember where we left off. It's been a while, so quick recap. I'm pretty sure we did the first milestone on the spot, and then we were going to do the second milestone in the last episode. I think we started to work on little bits, like we put a little bit of fishing industry in, and then when we hit that milestone. So let's see if we can talk about kind of everything, at least in terms of what's going on in our city in these two milestones. So park, industry, landscaping, policies. Let's make a park. Let's hold off on industry areas because I do want to move this out of here. We've got this lovely green neighborhood right here, and then on the other side of this, these couple of trees, we have the most polluted spot in our town. So we'll probably move that out of here, or I don't know, change this up. But it's a really odd juxtaposition, and I probably should have thought about that a little bit better. Sorry for whipping the camera around already. So, park areas. Let's see where we can fit a park. Let's pause it real quick. We kind of have this area that I wasn't... Was I zoning on? Is there commercial there and there's just no demand? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do commercial on this strip. Because we do have a decent amount of demand for it. We should hook this up, I think, right there, and then continue this down through there. At least a little bit. Let's use the natural tree barriers to kind of define where our town is and isn't. So we'll bring this down to like here. We'll connect this onto there. I take it back. We won't connect that because this is just a placeholder for the highway. We shouldn't be building too close to that. I forgot about that. And then what do we want to do here? Let's freeform and kind of snap to some of the existing nodes and just work with what we've got here in terms of space. Something like that. And we'll get one more little neighborhood in here. And then let's do the same thing on this side. That could work. So that gives us a little bit of space for some zoning. Let's jump over to our selection brush. Selection brush. That didn't come out right. Off to a terrific start. Back in the swing of things. Mangling the English language. I got to catch up with a friend of mine that originally he's from Paris, and he moved out to, well, he came out here to Boston and New York first, and then he moved out to LA, and he has, I want to say his daughter's 6, and just like him, so he speaks French, Armenian, and English, as does his 6-year-old, but her English is already much better than his, thank God. But it's nice to see. I can stumble through French a little bit, but I am basically monolingual, and sometimes monosyllabic at that. So where are we at? Let's get water in here. Sorry, detour. Squirrel moment. I like to throw in little details of life, though, when I think about it. When I think it's relevant to the city building, it never is, but I think it is at the time. We're just gonna do a smattering of pipes over here, and I think we're gonna kind of contain our town to that area. We'll have the highway coming through here, got a bit of a neighborhood there. We'll extend some stuff off of this side, and then we'll connect it under the highway, probably on at least one of these streets. This will probably be our cross street right there, Heather Alexander Street. We'll have to rename that. We'll have to do some renaming at some point. Let's look at our garbage problem. Let's see what's going on there. Might just be not enough recycling capability. Right, do we just have the one? Interesting. Okay, let's Let's see what we can do here. Can we get on the outside without polluting the water? It's close. So what is it? Red is the noise pollution. Purple is the environmental pollution. So can we get right on the edge here? Come on. There's one little click in there. It's right there. Let's do that to make sure. Wow, this is still pretty burned, huh? We had a heck of a fire last time. When we can. When can we do the depot before? That's at 4,600. That's at 7,000. So you can do a depot, but you can't tell them where to go put out the tree fires until you get to that milestone. So, park area. Weren't we going to do a park area? Isn't that what I set off to do? Hopefully our garbage problem gets better. Let's go over to parks. Let's just do a little park somewhere. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. In fact, look, we had a little area right there kind of reserved where we can put a couple things in. This doesn't have to really cut through anywhere, and we can use the small main gate kind of. Let's go right in the middle of this block. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Can we get this? That won't snap on that side, huh? Got to remove that house to snap on that side. We'll do it. We'll do it just to get a couple little cut throughs through here. Where can we come out down this way with minimal impact? Oh, not in park area. Whatever. We'll just do a little cut through here. Well, we don't have a lot of money, do we? We're gonna have to borrow some money. We're gonna move some people out just to put a couple things in here. So, can we afford a plaza right now? 1,200 of our 1,300 bucks. A little tight in here, a little tight. But we could do that. It'll let me do that. Let's do that. This is a little slop. This is more just to get some land value up over here. So you can also, if you don't want to design it yourself, I was going to say drop in some parks, but hey, let's borrow some money real quick. Economy? Loans? No? Okay. Let's borrow it the old-fashioned way then. Taxes all the way up to 29%. 3 times speed, and we will be right back. Why? The clinic! Not the clinic. A little bit of traffic there. We should be good. Okay. So we'll wait until, you see me do it before, wait until the growth starts to dip really down or even into the negative, and then we'll jump back to 12%. So be right back. I'll zoom on any fires. You won't miss anything. Hang tight. All right, we're into the single digits. If we let it play much longer, it will definitely go into the negative. So let's jump back to 12%. Make everybody who stayed happy. I believe somebody mentioned in the comments, it's actually a good way to slow some of your growth, especially on the residential side. Let's go ahead and let that play and have everybody settle out. And we'll start to build up our demands again, because our demands dropped. Nobody wanted to move into a town with 29% tax rates. So right away, our residential demands are climbing again. That's good. We'll do a little something. This is going to be totally temporary, cut over the highway, but I want this to connect. Straight tool. We can smooth the slopes out later. That's good enough for now. What I want to do is freeform a road and kind of connect up to that. And then sneak a couple neighborhoods in through here. I mean, we may as well do that too. Get a little bit of that zoning filled out, and then we'll get a couple streets in. Through here, not too much. And maybe we'll leave a little bit of a buffer. I don't know. Cargo, something might go over here. More fishing industry. We don't know. I want this to be a little bit separated. We'll kind of run that kind of parallel with the road that's already happening over there. The intention of probably lining it up with that road at some point. Doesn't have to be, though. And these will just be a couple small little residential side streets over here. Get a couple houses on. So let's go back into selection, I guess. Let's pause it. I'm sure I'm going to hit something I don't mean to hit here. So it's going to be maybe easier to do this until I hook a mouse up. Come on, channel names move the mouse. How many times am I going to hear that before I actually plug in a mouse for this game? Let's dezone that. We don't want residents moving in on the main street. And let's see. Let's see if we can do this right. So we'll do that. That should be correct, I believe. This is a little messed up over here. No. Oh, no. Okay. So where are we at? Ton of industrial demand. We might let that ride for just a little bit because I certainly don't want to pack more in up here. We've already got fire problems. Maybe we do like industrial area number 2 down over here in this patch of trees, and maybe we could even do an industrial area. We did unlock that, so why don't we? Let's get a side street here. Let's go straight. Let's get a side street. The first part of our logging area, because this is a good forestry area. So we may as well use it. Since we can. Industry area paint tools. I'm not too interested in doing, let's see what we got. Things like ore and oil. I'm all for the renewable. And we are making this, wow, that is ugly. We're making this kind of our residential center of our town. So even though this is good farmland, we are not using it for that. So maybe we could consider expanding out to one of those lands. That looks really good down there. If we go that way, I still don't know which way we're going. What do? We bought the north tile, thinking that that would be good for expansion because it gets us access to this highway and rails and all sorts of things. So maybe we go down that way. We'll see. We'll see what it lines up for tiles. So we've done this. Let's just get a little bit of an area here. It can overlap some of that residential. That's totally fine. So let's do that. We'll go into forestry and we'll define a main building here. What kind of money do we got? Not a lot. So we could do a small tree plantation. Let's let it play on 3 times speed because we need that money bad. And we'll just pack this in as best we can. $700 to get power over here. That could be problematic. Let's get water first. If we can. I want to get that segment of road when we're able. Hopefully power will spread from over here. As soon as we have enough money, I'm powering this area. And then we might borrow money from the town again, but it's going to be a little tight. It's going to slow our growth. And we don't want that. Ideally, we don't want that. Oh, come on. It was going to let me for like half a second, then our budget dropped $1 or $2 more. So this is the challenge right here, right? This is where I would usually get carried away building something offline because we're at this impasse, right? We can't do a lot. Because we're just trying to get our city started. I've got $394 in the bank, 2 outstanding loans, a razor-thin budget. What is this going to? Nothing? Okay. Do we have a stoplight on here? We do. We could probably get rid of that. They don't need to stop for the little bit of traffic that's over here. So we'll just stop the side traffic. That's totally fine. Let's see what else we can do. Intersection maintenance-wise, let's stop these people. Keep the traffic flowing on our main road. This is our highway entrance and exit, and a lot of traffic. So we'll leave the lights to do their thing there. I don't need to stop people coming out of this zone because very few of them are turning left. So that really shouldn't be overlapping traffic at all. Here we could stop these people coming off the side streets. I don't think it'll back up. It should be fine. And then we can do the same thing over here. Is let the traffic flow on the main. Stop the side streets. I don't think we have any other intersections we have to worry about over there. I'm going to leave this one also. That's a pretty busy four-way comparatively for the area. And then we'll stop all this other side traffic. Don't need to worry about that one yet until we add some more intersections. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. This side of town looks good. Doesn't look like we've gone in and cleaned this up at all. Once in a while, it's good just to at least go district by district and think some of your stop signs out. Stop the T's, let the traffic flow on the mains. I think it's a good theory. We got to look at police coverage, apparently. Which probably means we have to look at fire coverage also. And power. Why? Budget-wise, we're running everything 100%, so that should be interesting. Edge of the grid is dying off fast. So we don't have enough money to drop in a coal power plant right now. Let's see. Let's borrow some money again. It's the name of the game. I do this all the time. I don't always record it. So 3 times speed, borrow some money. We're already into the negative, unfortunately, for population growth. So we're gonna hurt ourselves a little bit here. But we're gonna borrow some money to get another power plant in there, and then we'll grind our way back up on the rest. Okay, so that's enough. I think I mentioned before it's a good way to roll back some of the potential damage or disruption from death waves. Because if you don't have everybody, if you have everybody moving in at the same time, it's bad. If you have some people moving out because the taxes are so bad, that can help some of that out. So we'll drop in one more coal power plant over here, and that should give us power for a few days. I was gonna say power for days, but not that long in terms of the overall city expansion. Slot pipes, don't watch. If you're at all concerned, sometimes they're very organized, and sometimes when I fill out areas, it's just necessity of coverage. Not enough money. We're already out of money again. My goodness. All right. I just want to cover out all that zoning. Everything we've zoned now is good, except for, I mean, down here along the highway doesn't need to be because it's not technically zoned. It's a placeholder. I believe I'd said a moment ago we're going to want to worry about fire and police coverage down here. Definitely gets a little bit dry, a little bit into the gray. So we don't have a lot of growth happening here. We've got a lot of demand for industrial. So maybe we could get something else happening over here in this pocket. Again, it's a shame to put it next to our green neighborhood, but we could always gut it down the road. We kind of need it for now, so let's do this. Can we do... Let us connect that. Let us connect that. It's a little sloppy. That's awful. That's not going to work. Never mind. Pretend I didn't do that. How do we feed off this system? Let's come in down here. Let's see. What is our traffic like coming in? That's a straight shot off the road, so we'll do this. We'll make our own little zone over here for a couple industrial streets, and we'll go back as far as it starts to interrupt the zoning on the main road. So in that case, since it's going to be right in the back of residents, we'll provide a little bit of buffer. Let's do that. And we're going to fill in the far side of the road, so let's go fill. And we'll just do this. We'll reserve this for city service buildings or something else. Is all that watered? That is all watered, okay. So let's take a look through. I mean, we can't afford a lot of this stuff, but we did drop in a fishing industry, right? So we've got that very most basic of a fishing industry set up. One thing I didn't drop in, though, is once we have fishing, we can drop in a fish market or a fish factory. So fish market is going to sell those fish off to the city, right? No processing, fresh fish to the market, buy some stuff, collect tax revenue on it. Now, fish factory is going to take those fresh fish from harbors and turn them into canned goods, which is delivered to shops in commercial zones. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking to do. The fish market is actually kind of a cool look. You'd put that more, I think, closer to your residential area. You notice there's a big happiness bubble. Yes, there's a noise pollution bubble, but there's a big happiness bubble that surrounds that. So, you know, get that somewhere in your residence, kind of off to the side that the noise bubble doesn't bother them too much, but not so far off that you don't get the happiness bubble. The fish factory, on the other hand, is pollution and noise pollution. Because this is, you know, just like any other industry, converting that stuff to sell it into commercial zones. So I think we'll go with this one when we can. We just don't have the money. We need $15,000 in the bank. We'll be right back where we can drop this in. Where can we drop this in? We don't really have a good spot. Let's see if we can figure out a spot. Maybe right there. If it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit right there. We'll have to take out a couple houses on the end of the street, so we may as well de-zone that, so there's not like one isolated house living out on the end of the street. What if we did that? And we'll de-zone that too. And then we'll just let that play for a minute until we can afford a fish market, and we'll drop that in. Again, it's on the industries tab. There's its own little fishing thing happening there. We should take a look at policies because we haven't in a while, or at least I feel like I haven't. We have schools out, which is always an option if we have any worker problems, but we're doing all right on that front. Recycling, park paths, fishing routes. Do we not? Oh yeah, obviously we did that. We did fishing routes. Landscaping tools, parks. Let's see, what else? I unlocked high school. Let's double check our education real quick. I feel like we're slacking on services, and I'm about to drop in a fish market. May not be the best use of the town money right now. So we do need police and fire coverage. But we might get by. You know, we could move this one. This one's way too close. The reason that I did this is because the industry businesses were having problems because of the median, they have to turn right and go down there and turn around in a neighborhood, or go turn around in here in Birdsong Hills to come back up there. So by putting this on this road, they're actually able to turn out and go left, direct into the zone. Or if it's something over here, this is a one-way, they can turn right out of the parking lot to turn left and come that way. So although, yes, the roads are green, how they get there can sometimes be the difference between putting out a fire and the next building next door catching fire instead. Wow, that filled up fast with some industrial traffic, industrial buildings. Still our biggest demand, so we'll see if we can skate by until what is it, like 7,000 that we're gonna unlock office? Is that when we unlock office zones? Yeah, it is. So it's still a little ways off. We'll see what we can do. But we'll keep filling that in. We've got the money for the fish market just because it's new and because we can squeak by on the existing coverage. So, where do we say? Right here? Let's do that. So let's get a look at our new fish market. Cinematic walk. So it's alright. It's got some picnic tables. It's got some, I guess, what would be fish trucks they sell out of here. Those are supposed to be fish, I assume. They might look it from satellite view a little bit more. Yeah, even on PC, right? You don't get down at this level unless you have a mod. But sometimes it's really cool to be down here. Sometimes it's the slightest bit disappointing when you look at the quote-unquote fish. But that's okay. We have a fish market in our town. So we'll get to some of that new content when we can, right? Because, you know, you've seen the police stations and hospitals. We're gonna get to some of that new stuff in the Sunset Harbor DLC. So we've got parks and plazas we can drop in. Fishing harbor, fishing market, tennis courts and things like that. So that is pretty well rounded. At 2200, we unlocked some transport options in the form of tram, taxi, tours, post-service, busing, ferries. So lots of options there. Just no metro yet. Specializations, we want to look at policies. We've unlocked some of our highway roads, which is nice, so we can start to carve through the town. And I want to say towards the end of the last episode, I dropped in a cemetery because we were starting to have bodies pile up. One of the downsides of kind of talking about these things after the fact. So we'll want to get another one over here somewhere. Will that fit, in fact? How many people do I have to move out for this? Just one? Let's do it. And that power should still be connected. I think we're good there. We're good, right? Yeah, it's close, but it works. So we've got a second cemetery. We've got no money in the bank, but we'll get to fire and police when we can. Some of you probably shaking your fist at the screen thinking, Mouse, how can you neglect, of all people, how can you neglect fire coverage? But hey, that's how we get some of this entertainment in the first place, by neglecting safety precautions. Throw them out the window. Makes for better YouTube. What else? What else? Okay, I'm going to go into policies. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything that we definitely want to talk about. We put in the elder care and child center services. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. So, let's look at our policies real quick. Let's see if there's any unique buildings we can afford. Probably not. Power and water, don't touch it usually. Smoke detector distribution, and apparently a lot of people in the comments don't touch those either. I had asked about that in a previous episode. We definitely want smoke detector distribution to make any difference we can. We want to recycle. We want recreational use, because and I think that's all. Recycle plastics. I think that's all we need to worry about for right now. So fishing license is a new one. City offers fishing. I'm gonna try that again. Fishing license. The city offers fishing licenses to citizens in exchange for a small amount of money, increases residential tax income, reduces happiness, and increases crime. Raw deal. We're gonna stay away from that one. City planning wise, I don't think we've unlocked any of these things yet, so they're not really a concern. Taxation and events, again, we're not going to use any of those. So real quick look at unique buildings. I don't think there's anything we can afford right now, so certainly not before we get a police station, fire station in. So let's figure something out. I think what we're going to want to do for the next episode, I kind of like how this is fitting into the landscape down here, and I think we're going to call it quits as we kind of fill out and round this out. We'll have the highway connect down through... we'll probably have the highway curve this way. Right, so we'll start to bend it back through here to connect that way, and then we'll do some sort of exit right around here on this side of the town, and that should be fine for small, low-density residential stuff like this. Let's see what our traffic is at. It's at 91%. So if we had another exit on this side and kind of freely let people decide, you know, do I come in via here? Do I come in via there? We'll add some mass transit options. This should be totally fine and self-sufficient. And then what I think makes sense is to convert this into some sort of cloverleaf, partial cloverleaf, four-way intersection, basically, is the most important thing, so that we can start delivering traffic up here into this clearing that we've purchased, right? This is going to be a great spot for us to expand to. So I will, on the next episode, I'll come up with something for the highway. We're going to have to do it a bit more manually than we can on PC, unfortunately, but hey, some of you like that, so tune in next time. We'll try and figure out a way to adapt this into some sort of cloverleaf. I mean, maybe we just drop in the cloverleaf and tune it and tweak it later, but the bottom line is we want to start getting ready to build on this tile, expanding some of our industry up here. I'll stop moving the camera around like a psychopath. I'm sorry. I just got the feeling like I tend to move it every time I talk, like I'm gesturing with my hands. And sorry. So for those of you that I did not induce motion sickness in and have stayed tuned, that's kind of the plan for the next episode. Today is Wednesday. I will try and get something out Friday or at the latest this weekend. Again, apologies for the delays. I want to get back into that regular swing, but it's been tough. I'm not there yet. I don't know if you are. I know that last month revenue dipped, and I think everybody was doing what I was doing, was watching other things on YouTube. But I'm starting to settle back into my normal content watching, and hopefully that means I can settle into making content for you also. This is a really boring shot to be just staring at, so let's throw it on cinematic camera while we outro here. I think that's a good spot to break. We've got a plan for next time. When we expand up there to the north, I want to start planning out that will be a little grid based, because I want to start planning out where our high density zoning is going, right? We're not even going to double the size of our existing town before we unlock high density zoning. So if we're going to do any, and I want to try and do a really small amount on this map, this is going to have a smaller town feel, I think. It can still be dense, but it just won't be so tall. And hopefully that will give us some cool vistas when we eventually drive around. We'll clean up the pollution eventually, because this is an eyesore on this corner of the city. But then again, maybe that's something that... there's our forest industry. Remember the forest industry we just built? And because we have no helicopter service, that is just going to ignite... I mean, in theory, this could ignite all the way around to over here. Like, this could be a massive fire for our town. And I don't have the capacity to stop it yet. Like, it's not even... It's not that I didn't have good fire coverage. I mean, I guess technically it could have been, because if this building catches fire and we don't put it out in time, then the trees catch fire and this catches fire. But yeah, that's a terrific start to our forestry area. All right, well, on that note, there's always a plan. It never works out. Lots of squirrel moments. Hopefully you were entertained and educated or enjoyed this Let's Play. One of those or all of the above. If you did, likes, comments, and shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more and consider hitting the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you want to get involved in the discussion. Find out about the occasional live streams, which I do have a different console-based Sunset Harbor build that we will be revisiting hopefully soon on the stream. Let me know in the comments down below what days are best for you. I'll tell you time-wise, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I know it's late for some of those around the world, but that's the best time for me. Still going to try and do some weekend streams for those of you in the UK. I apologize I haven't done that yet. But maybe on the weekend we could do something middle of the day, which would be your evening, or late night for those of you in Oz and in that part of the world. But we'll try and do some things. Get over on the Discord and stay in touch there, and I'll try and let you know about streams when they're happening. It's usually the easiest way to stay in touch. Links to all that in the description down below. But with all the squirrel moments out of the way and the fire almost subsiding, I think it's running out of fuel. Should I make sure it runs out of fuel? Maybe we should just play this safe. Bulldozer. Default. Increase. Can we not delete trees that way? Do we have to go to the tree brush? It's gonna go out, right? Here, we'll clear a little bit of a path here. We'll fill that back in later. Looks like alders and beeches and the occasional conifers, so that should be easy enough to replace. Of course, we could just kind of fill this in with our industrial area. We'll be good. Anyways, I think I was doing an outro, so yeah. We'll see you on the next one. Again, subscribe for more of this. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.